Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Thursday edition of Today in Sports Betting, doing it MLB style with Scott Reichel. He's senior handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. Scotty, we're going to take a look at a little baseball here. I don't know why I'm talking like that.
Yeah, I
So,
don't really know what's going on, but something about baseball.
Channel and Jim Brockmeyer. Scott, what's first game you like on the card today?
Well, looking at the actual card, you have a couple of day games, which we're going to have to skip because, we don't want to let you or force you to look at stuff at the last minute.
We will
So
issue those games.
we'll start off with the Cubs and Giants, who have been two teams that have, I'd say, been surprisingly good. Now, I know the Cubs were a team that, based on reputation, for some reason, people thought was going to be decent this year. I know both of us were kind of low on this team.
Low on the Cubs.
But they've actually been decent. And you look at this pitching matchup, you have Davies, who was awful to start the year, been better lately. I can't say he's great, but he's been better. And you look at DeSclafani, and whatever the Giants, I don't even know, whatever their bullpen coach is giving them or whatever's going on, that might make me a starter if I actually join the rotation.
I'll tell you what, you would look like DeSclafani did in his start before last against the Dodgers when he lasted 2 2/3, gave up 10 earned.
Yeah, but my spin rate would be so high.
It really would. That'll ding the old ERA, Scott. That's what's amazing with DeSclafani is he's got an ERA of 3.56 with a 10-run effort in 2 2/3 on his record. So that's doing some good pitching the rest of the time. So, and yeah, like you said, Davies, he's been pretty good once the calendar turned over to May, giving up just 6 earned runs over those 6 starts. I understand that's pretty good, Scott. So as far as the line goes for this one, it is San Francisco favored over the Cubs, my friend. It opened at 119. It's now up to 127 or so. Will get you some Giants. And 8 is the total across the board, slightly juiced to the under. So, you like laying that number with DeSclafani against the red-hot Cubbies, bud?
Not particularly, but just to touch on the actual numbers for DeSclafani. He had a 2.03 ERA. Then he had the Dodgers performance. His ERA went up 1.51. So it went from 2.03 to 3.54. Then he actually faced the Dodgers again in his next start. 4 2/3, 2 runs. So he kind of righted the ship. I can't say it was a good appearance, but it was a lot better than his last one.
I like to see that. I like to see a good start after a bad start.
Against the same team in particular.
It makes me have a lot more confidence that was kind of a one-off outlier situation. So
yeah, now the issue that DeSclafani's run into a little bit lately has been his command. He has walked at least 2 batters in each of the last 3. Walked 3 against the Dodgers in that 2 2/3 game. Then he walked 4 2/3 in the last start. So I have a little bit of concern when it comes to his command, which is kind of the same issues that Davies was dealing with earlier in the year because he walked a ton of guys. And that is always a problem when you have people dancing on base. And you're looking at Davies recently. He's walked 27 guys in 50 1/3. So he's gotten it a little bit more under control than it was earlier in the season. It was basically like, I don't say 1 per inning, but it wasn't pretty. He still walked multiple guys in.
That's a lot. 27 and 50, that's a ton.
Yeah. But he still walked multiple batters in 3 of his last 4 starts. Been better, though. Not going to give you much length, though. Pretty much been a 5 innings exclusive guy. Went 5 1/3 against the Indians in his 4th to last start. Last 3 has gone 5 flat. So if you are expecting him to go distance, you will be disappointed. But that might be a good thing because Davies has not been, I'd say, that good this season. But compared to the start of the season, he's pieced some things together. So
yep.
I'm looking at the under. You have a game in San Francisco. Both pitchers have been pretty good lately. I know DeSclafani's had a couple of ups and downs, but you're also facing the Dodgers, which is never a fun time. But you're looking at Oracle at night. I'm going to go with the under. You? 8.5, I just think is too high for the Giants.
Yeah, I'm tempted. It was 8.5 is a very, very tempting number.
For the Giants, I got to look at the under at 8.5.
I was impressed with the Giants righted the ship after they lost those 3 straight to the Dodgers, and you kind of thought they were faded out of sight. Like, oh, there they go, it's going to drop off, and they rallied nicely, Scott. They won 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers. They split series with the Angels and worked themselves back into first place in the NL West. Did you see that coming?
I did not.
No, I did not. I did not either. So both these teams playing really good ball right now. Cubs have won 3 straight, and they have won 9 of their last 10. Finally starting to break out the bats just a little bit, Scott, and that's good to see because those things were ice cold earlier. Hard to hit when it's 38 degrees in Wrigley Field and the wind's blowing in. It's a miserable environment. But like I said, the San Francisco Giants have been hot as well. I don't share your enthusiasm for the under for me.
I'm just looking solely at the line.
Yeah, 8.5 is a ton, and there's good value. 8.5 in a National League game with the pitchers hitting in San Francisco at night. I get all the reasons, and I ain't mad at you for playing it. It may work out to be a successful play.
As for the side, it's Cubs or pass. You got to take the plus value with the hot.
That's it. I think it's a coin flip in this game. I think DeSclafani's probably a little better than Zach Davies right now, but both of them are inconsistent. Both of them are wild. You never know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you're flipping a coin, give me the positive money. I'll take the Cubs.
Okay.
All right. What else you got?
Well, looking at one of the other late games, you have an actual pitcher's duel involving the Padres and the Mets. You have Taijuan Walker going up against Yu Darvish. Total is pretty much at 7. However, as we actually went live, FanDuel did move it down from 7 to a juice 6.5. So you have seen under money coming in. Both these starters, really good. Now, Darvish has gotten blown up on occasion. He was not very good against Houston in his last outing. Meanwhile, Walker's been phenomenal. You look at Taijuan Walker, 4-1, 1.84 ERA, 0.94 WHIP. Darvish, 5-1, 2.16 ERA, 0.93 WHIP. Tatis has a bit of an oblique issue. I'm assuming he's not going to play in this game, but we'll see about that. Total at 7. First 5 under and just sleep on it, I guess, because the Mets bullpen on the road is atrocious.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I want to see more from Yu Darvish to make sure that he's back on his form because, like I said, he was not good against Houston last time out. He just lasted 5 innings, giving up 4 earned on 4 hits, 1 home run, 3 walks, and his control had been pretty good up until that point. I want to make sure he's back. I like the. I'm probably.
We know that Tatis, if he's out, there's a huge blow, and the Mets offense isn't very good.
Yeah, that is certainly something to consider. And this San Diego team, they've been struggling, buddy. They've been riding the struggle bus. They've scored just 8 runs in their last 4 games.
That's why I'm looking at the under.
Yeah, that's I don't hate it. I don't hate it. You know what? I don't. The problem for me is Darvish is one of those guys where they just go out and score a ton of runs. You've seen the overcash 4 straight, despite him pitching pretty good, except for last time.
I'll tell you what, though, looking at the actual prices, assuming Tatis might not go, Padres are laying minus 188. It's a joke. This team's been awful for the last couple of days. They should not be laying 188 on FanDuel. I don't know what line you have, but I see it's mostly 170 something, but FanDuel is 188.
That's what I was just checking. Yeah, it's I've got DraftKings minus 182. Yeah, it's minus 175, minus 180. I don't hate the Mets in this spot. San Diego not playing good ball right now, especially if they're going to be missing Tatis.
We both don't exactly like the Mets, but with Darvish having some potential, I'd say regression.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And I'm not going to discount the possibility he could be right back on it and be nails.
He could be. I'm just saying Walker has been nails.
Yeah,
nothing's gotten in his way.
Mm-hmm. I think Walker's going to give you a good start. So I don't hate the under. I do hate it if it goes to 6.5. I'd much if 7.5, I'd be all over it. But it's 7 or even 6, it's 6.5 is even worse, obviously. So just give me the value play right there. I'll take the Mets at 160 or so.
Okay.
Anything else, Scott? We talked about this. There's a lot of early games, and there's a lot of games with late pitching changes that or undecideds that don't have odds. We've got no
I was
odds.
going to say we don't have lines on.
We've got no line on the KC game. We got no line on the Yankees game. Of course, that's a day game. We've got no line on the Arizona Milwaukee game that you and I are both interested in. That we've got no line on the Miami Pittsburgh, and of course the first game of the day is Washington Atlanta, and we have no line on that one because Davidson is going to be making the start for Atlanta, so they don't have a lineup yet. So
other than that, we got everything.
With that being said, Scott Odorizzi was good his last time out. Bullpen actually fell off the cliff there. Houston, they are a minus 140 favorite. They opened up at minus 125 over Boston and Martin Perez, one of my personal favorites. Scott, you just back Houston right here. Is Boston done, or are they?
Can't say they're done, but they're definitely in a massive slump right now.
They're certainly not.
Some people might like Boston tomorrow anyway, just to fade the sweep. Some people just think Boston will take a game, but
who are these people, Scott?
Well, I can understand the logic behind it because you usually don't see many 4-game sweeps. But once again, that's just a bit of a fallacy because everything is an individual case-by-case basis. But the way I'm looking at it is Boston, we know pitching-wise isn't very good. The offense is the bread and butter of this team, and right now they're not hitting. So if they're not hitting, then they're probably not going to win many games, and that's what's happening right now. Is that a succinct way to describe it?
Yeah, and you're right. They've averaged just 3.3 runs over their last 7 games. Meanwhile, Houston is mashing the ball, averaging 5.5 runs basically on the season. They've averaged almost 6 over the last week. I think we get another good start from Odorizzi here. I'll lay that number. Give me Houston and lay the $1.30 or so.
Yeah, and one game I'm looking at maybe as a play of the day. Once again, I haven't made the video yet. I'm looking at potentially the Mariners and Angels over with Sheffield and Koenig on the mound. Both pitchers are not very good. Roughly a 5 ERA for both. Sheffield's a bit low, but Koenig is a bit high. You just look at these teams. Damn, the pitching's not very good. And the Angels, we know the bullpen stinks. The Mariners' bullpen was better to start the year. It's kind of fallen off, which makes sense because when you throw a lot of no-name guys out there, they might look good for a month. But as the season goes on, you're going to look worse with a larger sample size. But 8.5 for these two starters, especially with an extra innings draw of 4-4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Angels have the 4th worst bullpen ERA in the league. Seattle went from being top 10 for about the first couple of weeks to being roughly middle of the pack. I just see runs. I like the over.
Sheffield's been shitty on the road. Koenig's been shitty everywhere. So
I just think that total's too low at 8.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. And this is one of those games where you get 2 shots to win it. You get to go against two subpar starters.
You need one of them to blow up, which I think happens.
Well, yeah, you give one of them give up 4 or 5, and then you have the bullpen chip in and give up the rest. I think that's a solid play.
Plus, the wind is also blowing out to left center at about 9.5 miles per hour.
That'll help. That will help indeed. So, as always, guys, if you're looking for more information on these games or any others, I will say one thing here. Chris Bubich for the Kansas City Royals. You know, that's the team I follow more than any other. Bubich has been very good. He is going up against J.A. Happ for the Twins. And we don't have a line on this one. I'm guessing the Twins are going to be probably a pretty good favorite in this because I don't think Bubich is exactly a household name yet. So if you can get Kansas City at plus money, I don't hate that play at all. Kansas City's 3-3 against the Twins so far. They haven't been intimidated by them or J.A. Happ. So Happ did pitch against the Royals. He was kind of average last time out. He lost, they won the game, but that's more to do with the fact they went up against Urban Santana. So
I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Yeah, he's hiding on the Royals. He's right there with Davis and Holland. And
before you brought up that name, I had no idea that Urban Santana. It's kind of like when Scott Kazmir pitched for the Giants the other week.
Like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Hey, I saw Joaquin Soria picked up the loss today, and I didn't know he was still in the league.
What team's he on nowadays?
Arizona.
Okay, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So keep an eye on that game. If you can get the Royals, plus 120 or so, that's worth a play right there. Bubic has been really, really good as a starter. So, with that being said, if you're interested in these games or any others, of course, make sure you stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com. Deep dives and predictions into every game every single day. Best part about it is always free for you to use. So make sure you stop over and check that out. For me, for Scott, for the whole team over here at Winners and Winers, we appreciate you guys watching today. Do appreciate it if you give us the like and subscribe. And of course, we wish you nothing but the best. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money when you head back to the window. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everyone.